Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Saviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. With my prostration at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Today, as you all have heard, Swami Purnananji is much better, but still he needed some vocal rest. So he requested me in the morning to take the class so that it is not stopped, I think this is an advantage in having two Swamis in a center. If one goes out anywhere, or unable to attend to a class, so another person can fill it up. That's a nice way of managing the things. Particularly, Sri Purnananji was conducting the Gita verse by verse. So as I told you during his absence when he went to India, that I am not going to interfere with that pattern of the class. So I will take an overview of the 4 yogas. So the first week we talked about an introduction to 4 yogas. And the second week we had Jnana Yoga. And third week we had Karma Yoga. And today we are having Bhakti Yoga. Specifically with reference to a great saint who was born in India in the year 1486. His name was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we find his birthday was celebrated all over the world yesterday. Every month we have new moon and one full moon. Sometimes in a month, within the 30 days of the English calendar month, you get sometimes 2 full moons. And if you have that second full moon, it is called blue moon also. And this moon, whether it is full or whether it is no moon, which is called Amavasya in Sanskrit, these 2 situations on the sky has got great impact on the earth. So we find on the new moon nights, if you can closely observe your own mind and the nature around you, you find that in new moon nights the mind is getting quieter and quieter. So the sages found, why not we use this atmosphere, the advantage of this atmosphere of quietness for our own spiritual benefit? So they said, on new moon nights, sit a proper way and then do meditation. So these Amavasya nights are said to be greatly conducive for your going inward. And what is the situation with the full moon? The full moon brings up great energy in your mind. As such, in the surrounding, our Ireland is surrounded all the sides by water. And on full moon nights, if you go to seaside, I have seen Puri, I have seen in Chennai, during the full moon nights, the waves are rousing. The waves come to 2 heights. Why? Because the water bodies in the earth are all affected by the full moon, which is nearer to Earth. So in the rotational orbits, you'll find when they come nearer to the Earth on the full moon nights, the water bodies in the Earth have become very active. In the same way, since our body has got 62% water, so naturally our mind also is affected. So mind becomes extremely energetic and active. And that's why the full moon is considered as very romantic also, because mind starts imagining, and that imagination can go anywhere. So they said that full moon nights is the best form on that night. Why can't we channel our agitated mind on that night? So they devised, on full moon nights one must take the name of the Lord. Many times you do japa on full moon nights, it has got great benefits of turning the mind, or churning as it were, of the inward, and then take you much more deeper into your consciousness. So the full moon and new moon both are considered very important. And we find exactly on the full moon night of yesterday, in 1486, one baby was born. They named him as the family name. So every baby has got a family name. So family names were given. But what happened to the family name, where funny family name was given to him? He was called Nimai. Nimai means who was born under the neem tree. Neem, it's called in English margosa. The neem soap is made. Neem is very good for the skin care. And neem is taken as food also. Neem leaves are taken during the vegetables when they make. It's very, very bitter, of course. But the bitter neem leaves are very good. Recently, one devotee sent me a few neem leaves fried in ghee. She said, this is the time that one must take. I said, okay. So I tasted it, very bitter. Yes, it is bitter, of course, but then it does a lot of good to the body. It purifies the blood, they say. So that peculiar name, that which is very, very bitter, in that the boy was called. The reason was about his parents, lot of children. How many children they had before this boy was born? One boy and 8 girls. You'll be surprised. In that family, one after another, when a girl was born, the baby dies. Now there is a situation like this in many families. 2, 3 children, one after another, dies. Then the mother gets very alarmed and the society gets alarmed. So they support the mother. They come and tell the mother, why don't you take an oath before God and tell the God that I will give a peculiar name to my next born baby. In that case, the baby will survive. This is a sort of belief. So, in many cases we have seen that belief has stopped the further deaths in the family. So in the same way the mother prayed, and when the baby was born, she said, let us call him Nimai. That means a baby born with the taste of bitterness. That is the name given to him. But then the death stopped in the family. And Nimai started growing up. His astrological name was Vishwambara. Now this boy, from childhood onwards, was very, very attracted to Lord Sri Krishna. and he was fully devoted to Sri Krishna. Not only that, he was quite intelligent enough, just in 2-3 years, he started speaking so eloquently. And at the age of 6, he has mastered certain scriptures. He could by heart the Bhagavad Gita and tell at such a young age. This such wonderful the brain activity this boy had that people started wondering, is he a prodigy? They started thinking. And the boy grew up like that. And he could master any subject. At the age of 12, he mastered Sanskrit grammar. To such an extent, people of higher age, of 50, 60 age, they used to come to him and ask some clarifications from him. Such a wonderful mastery on the language, grammar, then poetics, then logic. Particularly logic was the greatest favorite of his subject, and he studied logic very well. And he became so wonderfully proficient in that subject. And this boy is growing up, only 12 years old. This boy saw one of the seniors in the school. His name was Raghunath Pandit. This Raghunath Pandit, already he is about 18-year-old. He has written a book on grammar. And that grammar book was considered as a last word on grammar. That means it was a reference work. Young boy has written. But this boy had a great ambition that no one henceforth should write any book overwhelming this book, what I have written. My book must be the last word. That was his ambition. So suddenly, when he heard about this boy, Nimai, he is such proficient, he came and talked to him. And he struck a friendship with him. And he was stunned to see this boy's acumen and the boy's brilliance. And he thought, if this boy starts writing a book and then he becomes much more famous than me, then where I will stand. So he started having a fear about this boy. One day, both of them got into the boat and they were walking. The boat was moving in the Ganges water and they struck some talks. So Raghunath Pandit asked this younger boy, this Nimai, said, Nimai, I hear that you have become very proficient in this, in logic. How much you know of logic? Then the boy, in a very humble way, says, no, sir, I do not know anything of the logic. Sometimes I think in my own way and I tell that. That's all. But you are a great master of logic. You have written a book which is the last word. So I do not know like yours. Either he was telling. But then he thought he may be very humble to say like that. So he talked to him about some of the questions about logic. And the reply that came from the boy stunned him. And then he asked, what are you going to do with your knowledge? He said, why? I will write a book. What he was afraid of, the same thing happened here. And when he said he was going to write a book, Raghunath Pandit started tearing and started weeping. And he said, oh, great man you are, your name will be, the whole world is going to remember you for this great work. I know that. And he is crying. So Nimai asked him, why are you crying, sir, for this? You should be happy. If I am going to be great in future, you should be rather happy, but you are crying. What is the problem? Then Raghunath said, you see, I am thinking that my book should be the last word. No one else can write better than mine. And since your ideas are wonderful, I am really stunned. Your book is going to take over and my book will be thrown away. Then he took his bag and the manuscript that he was writing, it showed him. Sir, This is the manuscript I have written. Since you feel if this book is published, your book won't have any place in the world, I am now putting this manuscript to the Ganges so that never this book comes out in print. And he threw that manuscript into the Ganges. Raghunath Pandit was stunned. For me to keep up my name, you sacrifice your name? Then the boy said, Sir, do you know, whatever study you make, whatever, whether it is a language or it is a grammar or it is a logic, whatever you study, whatever you have the knowledge, these are all limited. Only the knowledge of God is unlimited, infinite. God is infinite, so the knowledge of God is infinite. That's why in Hinduism there is a saying that Vedas are infinite. And Swami Vivekananda explains, by Vedas, a Hindu doesn't mean a book. What it is? By Vedas, he means the knowledge of God. If God is infinite, the knowledge of God must be also infinite. It cannot be finite. All the other subjects, all the other knowledge you will have are finite. It has got some end. But the knowledge of God is infinite. After telling this Pandit, then the boy came by. Now you see, even at the young age, he had such a wonderful knowledge about the philosophy of God. We all know that Hindu philosophy has got three major divisions. One is called Dvaita, another is called Visishta Dvaita, another is called Advaita. These are the three divisions generally spoken. Of course, there are other streams are also there which are not widely spoken of. But then these three are spoken widely. And since you have been the student of Gita for a long time, you have been coming to Purnananda's class, you all must be familiar with these three streams of Vedanta. All the three are enclosed in Vedanta. So they are all called Vedanta only. Dvaita Vedanta, Visishtadvaita Vedanta and Advaita Vedanta. If you find the difference between these three, they are not very dramatically different, neither dramatically they are similar. You find there are differences and there are similarities. For instance, what is Dvaita means? Dvaita means that the individual souls are different from the cosmic soul. So an individual soul is called Jiva. It's a beautiful word in Sanskrit. It's called Jiva. So you are a Jiva, I am a Jiva, he is a Jiva, she is a Jiva, that ant is a Jiva, elephant is a Jiva. All these are all Jivatmas. They are called Jivas. So each one is individual soul. It has got a body, it has got a mind. And within that individual soul resides. These individual souls, one day, by having the knowledge of its innate divinity, will outgrow the body and mind. Then what will happen? It will be one with God, as we say, one with the cosmic soul. So this Dvaita philosophy says that cosmic soul, that substratum of all the universe, that cosmic soul is different from the individual soul. Individual soul is limited, but the cosmic soul is infinite. So it cannot become one. You cannot say both are same. That is what they argue. But Advaita says, no. Outwardly, if you see, the cosmic soul is infinite and much more bigger than the individual soul, but in essence, the individual soul is nothing but the part of the cosmic soul. Not only part, it is the cosmic soul. Both are one and the same. This is called Advaita. So, in between, there is a philosophy which says the cosmic soul and the individual soul have got a connection. And that connection is that this is a part of that. Now, this Chaitanya, when he started preaching the Bhakti, he also developed a system of philosophy. And that is called Achintya Veda Veda. Achintya, Abheda, Veda. 3 words are there in that philosophy. Like Visishta, Advaita. Like that. 3 words. Achintya, Abheda, Veda. Achintya means inconceivable. It cannot be thought of. Abheda means non-different. Veda means different. So he says that the connection between the soul, individual soul, with the cosmic soul, which is called Brahman, this connection is they are one, at the same time they are different. And this peculiar relationship cannot be conceived by the human mind. So he gave the philosophy Achintya Veda Veda. Now this philosophy has been a bedrock of some of the Vaishnava sects in India. He started a movement called, that movement of Vaishnavism. And they are all Bhakti movement. And there are several Bhakti movements came up after Chaitanya came into this world. And before also there were Bhakti movements. But when Chaitanya came, the Bhakti movement got a double strength, as it were. And it spread nook and corner of the world. And how many places he has visited. He stayed for long years and he started moving around. And wherever he used to go, he used to preach the love of God. So in Bhakti Yoga, that he preached according to Gita, is what? In Bhakti Yoga, you find certain principles are there. For instance, there is a basic, I used to call it a golden triangle. I call it golden triangle. What are these golden triangle? What is this golden triangle? It has got 3 spots. It is touched by lines. 3 spots are touched, then it becomes a triangle. So 3 angles are there. That's why triangles we say. So what are these 3 spots? One is Jiva, this individual soul. Another point is called Jagat, this universe. And the third point is Ishvara, the God. These 3 points are touched in Bhakti Yoga. You'll be surprised when we analyze the Jnana Yoga, the same 3 must be the basic thing? No. In Jnana Yoga, this universe is not considered as permanent or as real. In Jnana Yoga, this universe is considered as Maya, as an appearance. This universe does not have any reality. A real reality it doesn't have. It is appearing before us, just like a dream in our sleep time. So during our sleep, we do have dreams, and during the sleeping time, during our dream time, the dreams seem to be absolutely real. In the same sense, this universe is appearing as real. But when the dream is gone, when you wake up, then you understand whatever I thought was real so long was not real. In the same way, when the knowledge dawns upon you that God alone is and nothing else is, then this world doesn't matter to you. In the same way, you find in Karma Yoga, that in Karma Yoga, one of the items, for instance, Ishwar, the God, need not be brought into. You can be a Karma Yogi without having any belief in God. If you have belief in God, it's very good. That will help you your karma yoga. But absolutely an atheist, an agnostic can practice karma yoga without any problem. So the God is also not needed there. I told you the 3 points of the triangle. One is Ishvara, and one is universe, Jagat, and one is the Jiva. In Bhakti Yoga, these 3 points are very, very important. Nothing, not a single one can be rejected. So the Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara, all the 3 are absolutely necessary in Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga says that these 3 are important. How they are important? Does the Bhakti Yoga say that the universe is unreal? No. Does it say that without God you can progress in your spiritual life? No. Does it say there is no individual soul? No. There is an individual soul, you recognize that. And there is a supreme soul, the Paramatman. This is Jivatma, and there is a Paramatma. Yes, both are accepted. And the Paramatma has created this universe. This universe is not an appearance. The Paramatma has become this universe. And it is not the creation in the sense of a potter making a pot. That is what in Vedanta we discuss. When the universe is created, how it is created. So in English we use the word creation. Of course, Vedanta word Srishti doesn't mean technically creation. What does it mean? Swami Vivekananda describes the word Srishti as projection. This world is not creation. If you say the world is created by God, there is a fallacy in your argument. What is the fallacy? The fallacy is a pot is created by a potter. In that case, clay is required to create a pot. So a potter is required, a clay is required, then the potter and the clay coming together, and the result is the pot. So if you say God created this universe, where is the clay to create this universe? With what God created this universe? That question will come. That has got no answer. If something else is there, before the clay was created, before the pot was created, and who created that? You will say that God created that also, the raw material. Then, if God has created the raw material, how did God create the raw material without any other raw material? So the question goes on and on and on without finding any solution. So Vedanta says, this world is not created. It is projected by God. Projected is a beautiful word. That's why it's called Srishti. Srishti means it projects. How you project? A magician projects certain things outside of you, outside of himself. He stands before you, no doubt. You can see the magician, but he projects something before you and you are surprised. And what he projected outside seems to be real and he withdraws it. But the magician is real. So Sri Ramakrishna says, the magician is always real. What he projects is not real. In the same way, God projects himself. And God has entered into this universe. So this universe is the projection of God. So in that way, the Sri Chaitanya brings out a beautiful thing, the example. He says, you got a room and you open the screen in a window and the sun rays coming into your room. The portion of sun rays that you see there, it has come from sun. Very good. This portion of sun rays, it is limited. It has got some length and it has got a particular lux of light, but it is come from sun, no doubt. Can you say the sun and the reams of light that has come into my room through the window are same or not? Is it equal? You will say no. Where is the reams of sunlight and where is sun? More than this light, a many number of sunlight is there, very high power. So this sunlight that comes into the room, no doubt it is coming from sun. Substantially it is same. But then it is much more limited than the sun. So there is a difference between the individual soul and the Parabrahman. So the God and the man, there is a difference. But in substance, are they different? So Chaitanya says no. In substance, both are same. Sun and its light are same. The diamond and its dazzling power are same. The milk and its whiteness are same. You cannot differentiate it. But there is a limitation when it becomes something. And that is what Sri Chaitanya says, Achintya Veda Veda. But this is very difficult to formulate it and realize it. Perhaps intellectually we may be able to grasp what he means to say. But to understand it, to realize it, that God has become everything and everything is not God. Yes, God has become everything, but the sum total of it is not God. God is something more than the sum total of parts. So in physics you read about this, the sum total of parts. So if there are 10 articles are in this room, if you collect everything, so I have 10 articles are there. I can put it in one bag. But God is not like that. You take mountains, you take rivers, you take the jivas of different kinds and combine everything and put together. You may say that this is God. No. God is something beyond that. So he is infinite. That's why he is called infinite. So whatever he has projected in this universe is, in Gita says that by my infinitesimally smallest part, smallest power, I have projected this universe. He says. Such a grand universe seems to be infinite universe. But this itself is the smallest portion of God. That means God is beyond this. That's why the beautiful Shanti mantra, you must remember that, Purnam Ada, Purnam Idam. It says Purnam Ada. Ada means that. The whole is that. Fullness is that. And Purnam Idam. This is also Purnam. This is also infinite. The beautiful word Purnam. And it means infinite. Infinite is that. Infinite is this. Purnam Idam. Purnam Ada. Purnam Idam. Purnat. Purnam Udachyate. From the infinite, this infinite has come. From that infinite, this infinite has come. Then the question happens, if something has come out of something, should it not reduce in size? In the world, what we see, if you have a full rasagulla and you make a portion of it, cut it, what balance is remaining, that will be less than what you have cut out. Is it not? If you have 10 euros in your pocket and you give 2 euros to somebody, your pocket will contain 8 euros, not 10 euros. But the strangest thing is, from the infinite, this universe infinite has come out, but then infinite only remains. So whatever has come out of the infinite is naturally infinite. And whatever remains as balance also is infinite. So Purnat Purnam Udachyate. So it's a very beautiful Shanti mantra, we say that. So this universe is to be taken care of. Ishvara, if God has become this universe, then we are part of that God. Do we have any duty towards fellow beings? It's a very important thing. You find in Chaitanya's life, Chaitanya was walking, preaching the name of Sri Krishna. He would tell everyone, say Krishna, Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Even when he was a small child, he used to cry. And how to stop this cry, of the child? If you come and tell the child, Hari Bol, then the child will stop. And you stop telling the Hari Bol, then the child will start again crying. And then again somebody has to say Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So in the house, a constant Hari Bol was being told to stop the child from crying. That is how Chaitanya grew up. And wherever he used to go, you say Hari Bol. Tell the name of Lord. And that is this Kali Yuga, in this present age, that is the biggest mantra he used to say. And he propagated the Taraka mantra, which is called, Taraka mantra, a very good mantra. And that is called Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This mantra he propagated. All over, wherever he went, he gave this mantra. Just go on chanting this mantra, he says. Never stop. Your mind should never stop of chanting. Yes, when you do some work, at that particular moment you have done the work. And then there are many, in the whole of 18 hours or 16 hours of our non-sleeping time. Maximum 8 hours, 10 hours you sleep. Then 14 hours in the daytime, you will find there are many opportunities for you not to speak at all. Driving time, or eating time, or traveling time, or many time. You are doing work time, cleaning vessels, utensils, cleaning utensils in the kitchen. Suppose you don't talk to anybody, you are alone, you are doing it. So like that, non-talking, non-verbal time we have in 14 hours of our wake-up time. We have plenty of opportunities. And those opportunities should be utilized for doing this japa of this mantra. So Chaitanya Dev propagated this japa of this mantra. So he was going through one place in Puri. He heard about a man who had leprosy. These leprosy patients, are really kept outside the villages because people are afraid. If you go and touch the leprosy patient, the leprosy may come to you. So people are afraid, and that fellow was kept outside. But he was a great devotee of Krishna. His name itself was Vasudev. This Vasudev, and he used to think of Sri Krishna all the time. But because of his non-regulated life, he contracted leprosy. And he is now suffering. And such a way he was suffering, and his fingers are all come down to small sizes. And everywhere the wounds are open, and maggots have formed into that, and maggots are eating the blood. And such a terrible state he was there, but he was thinking of Krishna. And Chaitanya learned about this man. You see, when you are in good condition, when you are in a noble condition, when you are in a better condition, what is your duty to the next man, to your kith and kin, to the ordinary man? Are you able to alleviate the suffering? Chaitanya saw this man. He went nearby, and he had great powers. Because of a constant thinking of Sri Krishna, he has become a saint. He can touch and cure and heal. Jesus did that. Sri Ramakrishna did that. Any great saint you will find, they cure you of your diseases. And they are the best healers. And they say Bhavaroga. Bhava means this samsara, this worldliness is Vaidyam, say he is the medicine. God has got the medicine. He is the healing power. So he went and he embraced this man when people are afraid to go nearby. Chaitanya went and embraced him. The moment he embraced him, that leper became absolutely normal. He was fully cured of his disease. And he stood up and he looked at his body, hands, feet, in his whole body. He has become so handsome young man. And he started crying. Chaitanya said, "Why are you crying now? You should be happy that your disease is gone." "That is why I am crying," he said. "Oh Lord, you came, you had great compassion to me. You cured my disease, you healed me. But then, with this youthful body and energy, what is the guarantee I may not go astray again? My mind may go towards enjoyment of the world. Make me back, give me back the disease. Let me not lose my path." See, such a wonderful devotion. Chaitanya Dev embraced him again and said, "No, what I have taken from you, I shall not give back to you. But I bless you that you will not go astray. Your mind will be fully engrossed in the Lord." He blessed him. That is what Sri Ramakrishna says. When you find around you people who are in problem, are you ready to step out from your cocoon and try to help them? Shivagyane Jiva Seva, he says. That's a beautiful mantra in Bengali. Shivagyane, in the knowledge of Shiva. Jiva Seva, the Jiva, the individual soul should be served. In what way you should serve? Because somebody is poor, you are thinking, "Oh, I take compassion on him. I feel sorry this man doesn't have proper food to eat. Let me give him some alms. Let me give him some money. This man is feeling very much upset due to his disease. Let me help him for purchase of some medicines." That is compassion. But there is something beyond the compassion, a higher level of thinking over the compassion. What is that? That God has come in this form before me. The God is accepting my service to him. When I give 10 euros to somebody, then I must see that God has given me the opportunity to serve this man. He has come in this form. So in Ramakrishna's birthday I was talking, I said people come and bring so many items, food items, fruits, vegetables, and etc. You keep before the picture and you offer it. I asked the audience, do you think Sri Ramakrishna is accepting? Do you think that he is eating all these things? Somebody in the audience said, no, like that they were doing that. I said, why you say no? Yes, he is eating. Then the question comes, if he is eating, then why they are not disappearing? All the things are there only. There are plenty of things. How you brought the same things are lying here? I said, that is the understanding that one must understand. When you offer to the Lord, who is the Lord and where is the Lord? That Lord is sitting in the form of the audience. And when you take it and distribute to the audience, that Lord is eating through the audience. Is he not present in everyone? And when you feed everyone, he is fed. That was only a ritualistic way of offering. The real offering comes when you take it and distribute. That's why some devotees, they say, Swami, please give us that duty where we stand and we distribute. We want to serve the Lord. Each one coming before you with a plate, standing there. He is the Lord himself. He has projected himself in the form of Stuart, in the form of Jeff, in the form of Bharat. Everyone. He is there in this form. This idea must come into our mind. Then our service becomes at a much higher level. It is not compassion. Compassion is a very good quality. Yes, it is necessary. But this compassion is taken to a higher level where you find God Himself has come in this form and asking you to serve. There was one Baba who was called Shirdi Sai Baba. I think in many of the Indian places you might have seen the picture. You know, he was born a Hindu, but he was taken to a Muslim family, and a Muslim family brought him up. So he has got Muslims also go to him, Hindus also go to him, and he's called Shirdi Sai Baba. Shirdi is a place in Maharashtra state. If you go to Bombay next time, please visit this temple. It's a beautiful temple, and a lot of miracles are even now happening, they say. This Shirdi Baba used to sit under a tree and speak to the devotees. And all the devotees are sitting. One lady was sitting there. She suddenly felt the urge to feed Shirdi Baba. So she thought in her mind, I must make something and bring to Shirdi Baba and feed him one day. You know, some of the mothers, they feel like that. You can't object to that. A mother heart, so mother's heart will always feel, let me feed something. So she wanted to feed. And the moment she felt like that, Shirdi Baba knew what is happening in the mind of the devotee. So when the satsang was over, she came and made pranam to him, made prostration to him. He said, you thought of feeding me? She said, yes, yes. Tomorrow you bring. What you should bring? Parotha you should bring. If you are familiar with the Indian food, what is called parotha, then you will know. Of course, we have parotha here also. And sometimes our Purnananji makes parotha, very tasty parotha. And that parotha is one. Then she said, look, one condition, it should be hot, hot. She said, oh, there is nothing. I can bring parotha, make parotha and bring you hot, hot. So next day morning, it all happened. She was very, very happy. Today I am going to make something and Baba is going to eat from my hands. She was so happy, and she went to the kitchen and put that plate and that pan, and she started making the dough, and then she put it on the plate in the pan, and she was started frying in ghee. And the smell was coming so much, she opened the window of the kitchen. At that time, the tragedy happened. She looked through the window. When she opened, naturally you are looking through the window. And what she saw a terribly diseased dog standing there and taking the smell of the ghee that is being fried. And it has put its tongue out, and the whole body the skin is tuberculosis skin. You can't, once you see, 2 days you cannot be able to eat. Such was the condition of the dog. And this lady immediately closed the window. Said, oh, today what a good day for me. I thought, like this scene I have to see. What a sin I have done. Okay, then she made the parotha and put it in the small container, took it. On that day, Baba did not even look at her. He did not talk to her. Time went on, 2 hours gone. And then when the satsang was over, he did not even look at her. She went and prostrated to Baba, said, Baba, what is this? You are not even looking at me, you are not even smiling at me. I have brought what you wanted. He said, oh, did you bring parotha? He said, yes. But then I told you I want hot, hot. Yes, I brought hot, hot, but you never looked at me, and you are talking and talking and talking with the devotees. You took 2 hours. It has become cold now. That's not my problem. Why you didn't eat at that time when I brought? He said, because when not only bringing now, when you are making it hot, hot, I went to your place and I stood as a dog and looked at you. Would you tear a small piece and throw at me? You never did that. Now you have brought the parotha. It is cold. She instantly realized that Baba is in everyone. You see, God is in everyone. How do you realize that? It is a theory. It is a maxim. We all say that. All religious people say God is in everyone. But do you realize it? Anytime have you felt that this person is God has sent him this, like this? Or God is present in this person? Have you realized this? That is what Chaitanya Dev says, that if constantly if you think of God, your mind will, for the present, superimpose the godly presence in each being. And by that practice, one day you will realize that God has become everything. What a wonderful idea of Gita. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Sri Krishna says, Ishvara, the Lord, where is He? He is in Vaikuntha. He is in Kailasha. Or He is in Brahmaloka. Where is He? He says, hriddeshe, in the heart of the being, He remains. What a beautiful verse it is. Krishna says, God is, Ishvara is remaining in the heart of being. We are all being, individual souls. Jiva. In each jiva, in the heart of heart, the Ishvara, the Lord remains. And that Lord remaining, how much we neglect, how much we castigate, how much we abuse. Each abuse of a person, each neglect of a person, considering each one as each insignificant, and that will go to the sins that we are committing. Rather, it will not. That is not you cannot say you are progressing in spiritual life. The moment love must overflow you. Swami Vivekananda was like that. Think of Vivekananda walking in one of the hilly areas in northern India. He was walking, and on the other side of the hill, because the hills are like that, gorges are there, another hill is coming up, there the road is there, one man with a big load of firewood on his back, he was walking. And Vivekananda was walking here. Along with him, one brahmachari was there. And both of them were walking. And Vivekananda was enjoying the scenery. Suddenly his eyes fell on that man who was taking the load of the firewood. Suddenly Vivekananda screamed as if something fell on his foot. And he kept his hand on the feet. Then he said, like that. He was in pain. The brahmachari who was with him said, Swami, what has happened to you? You are walking normally. Suddenly you are feeling the pain in your foot. But nothing fell on your foot. He went and touched the foot. Then Swami said, look there. And he looked. At that moment, when he cried for the pain, at that moment, the man who was carrying with a small rope and touching that basket full of firewood, that string lapsed and then it fell on his foot. And he was crying the pain. And Swami Vivekananda identified himself with that person who was crying in pain, and he felt that pain is his pain. This is called empathy. We have sympathies. We all have sympathies, no doubt. But that is not empathy. Empathy is the feeling that the pain that you are feeling, I should feel the same amount of pain. That comes when you can see God in everyone, not otherwise. So Bhakti Yoga allows us to progress in the constant thinking of God's name, and slowly making us realize that God has become this universe. Jiva, Jagat, Ishwar. These three are connected by the lines, which is called a golden triangle. That's why Bhakti Yoga is recommended by the saints for this age. For this age, Bhakti Yoga is most important. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.